cái gì nhắm thế?
Đang hỏi.
Tại sao không ai hỏi cho tôi ăn?
Nãy giờ trước tưởng hôm nay ăn trái rồi.
Ôi là trời, đúng là con lợn này. Vậy chứ.
Có mắt răng này. Mắt răng này. Đang nhập trước.
Em phải nhập ra.
Nhập đâu? Nhập chưa?
Phải nhập ra. Rồi sao em nói nha. Để cho nó trả hết một suất cho nó đã lắm. Người lớn
Cái đường do nó vận tải đó anh. Bình thường nó sẽ cao hơn đường anh đúng không?
Nó xem nhau à? Hồi chú hồi giờ nó xem nhau à?
Xem nhau mà.
Thì ngành.
Nhưng mà tôi thấy mấy năm kia là nó cao hơn một xíu hay sao đó. Cái năm nay á, tôi cứ nộp hết cho trường anh điểm cao. Trường anh điểm cao, cái trường nó điểm thấp.
Baby, I don't need your bills to have fun tonight.
My beloved child. Đội trưởng, lần thành công lớn nhất là của Bình Dương và đội bảo vệ giành chức vị trí. Nếu không có họ thì không thể tiến được nhiều như vậy. Thằng nhóc này đã làm gì? Sao cậu hết lần khen ngợi nó vậy? Đại trưởng, chị Mỹ Dương đã yêu cầu chúng tôi đặt bẫy mìn và giải đá sỏi trên lối trong. Khi bắn vào bẫy mìn, đá sỏi trên mặt đất sẽ theo mùi mìn mà bay xuống chung. Quân diện được định lại vừa làm mất tập khí. Điều đội trưởng bên này vô cùng bội phục Bình Dương. Chuẩn bị trước được việc này thật sự quá lợi hại. Đương tử này ngốc hết bao năm nay, không ngờ đột nhiên thông minh như vậy. Thằng nhóc này vẫn còn tin tưởng lắm. Đi chợ thì chứ, phải gọi là thiên tài. Còn nữa, trả ống nhầm cho con đi. Con muốn quan sát chuyển động của quân Nhật. Lần này thông qua của quân Nhật không bị khó, chủ yếu đến sự kiểm chứng đánh giá các bác đội quân. Tiếp theo quân Nhật chắc chắn sẽ để chúng ta. Đến lúc đó muốn chiếm lợi thế sợ là rất khó. Cha, tiếp theo chúng ta đánh thế nào đây? Thành thật mà nói, chúng ta ở đây chỉ để chờ lệnh của cấp trên, cũng không biết quân chủ lực có ngăn được lực lượng lớn sang hay không. Bắn hạ súng máy hạng nặng khoảng cách 300 mét về hướng 10 giờ. Tiếp nào hướng 12 giờ dám sông lên, cho được vui vui. Bình Dương chỉ huy tác chiến, gây tổn thất nặng nề cho quân Nhật. Nhưng đạn pháo quá ít nên phải dùng kinh nghiệm. Sau khi liên tiếp hạ gục nhiều địch hỏa lực bằng đạn pháo, nhưng đại đội chuẩn bị vào Bình Dương một vòng. Dương tử, cậu đến đây làm gì vậy? Quay về vị trí đi, ở đây nguy hiểm lắm. Sau này đại đội còn phải dựa vào anh thì mới có thể chiến đấu được. Tôi không chết đâu mà lo. Thấy cái chiến hào bằng người của bọn chúng không? Lũ chó này lại dám dùng xác của đồng đội để chiến thắng, xây dựng chiến hào để phản công. Nếu tôi không hạ chúng, chỉ để mấy tên súng máy hạng nặng này xông lên đường thì sẽ rất khó. Nhưng khoảng cách quá xa, từ đây chúng ta không thể nào hạ chúng được. Nhìn tôi này, tôi sẽ giúp cậu hạ chúng. Hết sốc rồi. Chúng có người thanh đến luôn, trước khi cho nổ được không hoàn nặng. Nếu không chúng sẽ tiếp tục đi người vào, chúng ta vẫn bị động. Không sao, để tôi dạy dỗ lại.
Tây Nam á, mà đa số là nó sợ chính hơn một xíu nhưng mà phí chắc chắn là trường nó cao hơn.
Ôi là trời, bây giờ mới lắp kẹt vào. Dạ, trong đó là kệ lên. Trường môi trường cũng ok mà. Đúng không? Mình chọn nó rồi, mình thấy ok với nó chứ. Mình cảm thấy ok với nó vì mình chọn nó.
Đúng rồi. Cái này quan trọng Tú thôi.
Trường là môi trường không có gì để đẹp.
Quan trọng Tú nó tu luyện ở đâu thôi. Này nó
Có đọc kỹ cái kia chưa? Đọc kỹ cái đường link người ta gửi yêu cầu làm gì cần cái gì đọc có đọc không?
Chưa mà sĩ nó đăng ký nó gạo nó đăng ký cái này ở đâu trên thông tin nữa chưa xem nữa.
Sao không đọc kỹ cái kia đi?
Nó tra ở trang cái Đà Nẵng luôn.
Thì tùy trường có chứ không phải trường nào cũng có. Không, đâu, nó cái gì đâu, tôi coi thử. Tôi coi thử. Tùy trường có.
Tùy trường.
Ừ. Sư phạm kỹ thuật Đà Nẵng hả?
Hình như vậy.
chẳng được nãy đâu.
Bọn em nó đăng ký
Toán vàng lý.
thì tối quá.
Để nè, nó xét toán vàng lý mà.
Đó.
Nó có C01, C tố không?
Ủa với
Nó có học điểm tính ra được mà.
tưởng thì tối quá, bị quá nó thấp nó bỏ à.
Nó bộ nó không có bỏ nhưng mà là nó nhập điểm đây là bộ nó tự nó chọn theo phương thức nào chứ nó không có bỏ cái gì hết á. Nó sẽ chọn theo cái phương thức mà
Có nguyên lý này.
của Tú gì hình như chưa có á chứ tùy trường nó có lòng gì không á.
Thì mấy bảo là nó có gồm gì nè. Đôi từ đã bách khoa lên bảnh thì
Đã có qua Đà Nẵng mà.
thì nó khó gì à?
Cũng
Trường á, đứa nào hả?
Bọn em mà bảnh trên lớp thì ngủ mà đăng ký thì bách khoa đừng có để các em có được.
Đà Nẵng có trường Bách Khoa đó là được. còn mấy người khác
vô đó coi cái gì mà
Không, anh coi nè.
Hiện tại tôi như ai không có ý định sớm là tự giảm một ngày.
Ủa sao vậy?
Tại chồng tao không cho.
Chắc là Thảo nó chơi tốt rồi.
đi với nó là chị hai thăm chín top top rồi.
Ba.
Chị ba mở ra là cái đầu cái thứ hai là Thái rồi.
trong này là có một kế tài nguyên môi trường thành phố Hồ Chí Minh thôi em chị ạ. Ok. Căn cứ điểm trường. Ê, mày tìm chỗ nào cô? Cho tao không thấy. Tao nguyên môi trường. Hả? Tùy trường rồi nữa à? Hả? Guitar cước rồi đúng không? Đa mày ghi sao mày đặt lại thử. Ok em. Cảm ơn nha. Biết điều rồi chứ. Thằng Đà Nẵng hả? Thằng Đà Nẵng mày á. Ừ, có Sài Gòn. Mới gần chỗ Lương Thử mày ơi. Lương Thử hoặc Phú Đất đây. Gần Quỳnh Viên nữa đây. Gần Quỳnh Viên nữa. Thấy Thủ Đức tùm lum ấy. Lương Thử câu đảng Thủ Đức. Má tao tao để cái nguyện vọng đó dưới cuối luôn nên là nó dính cái môi trường ở trên.
Đặt cái đèn Thủ Đức cũng được.
Thế Văn Mừng hả? Để điện thử, để điện hỏi anh thử. Không. Nó vào Sài Gòn rồi. Ok, để hỏi thử nha.
Đứa nào có đèn Thủ Đức.
Thử bọn em anh. Còn cái con hôm qua em nói với anh là học cái gì tài chính ngân hàng.
Đó cũng được.
Trường ngân hàng.
Ngân hàng. Nói chung là trường có lẽ có mẹ Đức cũng được, trong những trường top về kỹ thuật cao đẳng. Nói chung là học phí cũng rẻ. Nói chung là trường đó cũng được.
Nhưng mà cao đẳng thì làm sao mà nó mày đã học được?
Nó so á.
Thì giờ chọn rồi.
Nhưng mà mình để dưới cuối mình đảo lại được không ta?
Không, giờ mày đậu cái gì nữa?
Chứ không phải là mình chọn mấy nguyện vọng.
Mình không có em không có em có xác nhận. Thật ra là tùy em mà em lên trường á, được hết á, vấn đề ở em thôi.
Đảo được mà. Công nghệ
Không đó.
Kìa, chị quá.
Em lên trường, nếu may mắn em lên trường, em giờ cho em bao nhiêu điểm đó, em trong này thì em muốn học trường này được không? Là nó là nó kêu được thì mình cứ vô mà học thôi, còn kia mình chưa đóng học phí, chưa xác nhận vậy mà.
Nó xa đâu, trong Sài Gòn mới là gần rồi đó.
Để tính nữa. Học trường gần cho nó khỏe.
Học đi chứ, cứ hồi nào cũng bạn bè chứ được sao được.
Có một đứa à. Với nó gần nữa mà. Ok không?
Mình có tự có con đường riêng của mình chứ.
Thì nói nhờ. quận 12 là gần Nam chị ạ. Quận 12
Sao đó?
sao à?
Sao ạ?
Các bạn nào quận 12 đó hả?
Hỏi thử mấy anh em chi cốc nó hạt đăng.
Mới hồi nhỏ anh em chỉ có biết thôi.
Lâu lâu đi cà phê. Với cháu học trường đại học môi trường. Sao vậy trời?
Không có sao đâu. Cái trường chủ yếu cái quãng đường mà mình đi ấy là trường đường vào bên đồng đường nó đi nhanh lắm.
Đêm chị mê đi thử cho Út biết. Lụm. Sao đáng trường ở đây? Út đất hay sao đi? Trường nó rẻ hơn mà đúng không?
Hai đường ngon nhau á.
Cũng ngon.
Anh em chỉ cốt người 101. Còn anh em xương máu là người 160.
Số bố danh đây nha. Ủa? Chị ơi, Ủa hả?
Sao ạ?
Thường là mấy cái trường là mình vô đầu nó mới biết cái căn cứ công dân với số danh của mình, hay là mình chưa vô nó bạn biết luôn.
Hỏi gì là sao?
Để đó xem nè, cái tra cứu nè, nó kêu là nhập số báo danh hoặc căn cứ công dân của bạn, mà Út nhập căn cứ công dân hay ba làm được rồi, Út nhập số báo danh đúng rồi nó vẫn không được luôn. Trường đại học môi trường là cái trường này riêng nên là nguyên cái bộ ta, cái bộ sao ta,
Cái trường
cái bộ nó mới cập nhật ta, là nó vẫn chưa biết mình lại đúng không?
nhập vô thử đi, nhập lại thử đi. Căn cứ công dân á nha.
51207 015307
Có nghĩa là trên trường không có, nhưng mà nó gửi tin nhắn là có rồi. Cần xác nhận cái gì mà coi lại nữa. Tùy trường có, ví dụ như mà trường kia nó có đủ nguồn lực, nó đủ nhân viên, đủ thầy cô thì nó nhập nhanh lên trên đó.
đó. TT ngành này có gì đó tỷ
Đã gì? Dịch thử. Đã
trúng tuyển.
đúng rồi. Đọc thấy cái đoạn nó nghe thử.
Gì kinh doanh để học cơ quý
Chính quy.
đạt chính quy. Thí sinh phải xác nhận nhập hạt trên cổng tuyển sinh của bộ trước, vậy là vẫn phải trên cái thi tốt nghiệp đây.
Thì đã nói là phải lên trên đó mà.
Đúng y luôn, cái này chịu rồi, cái này nó không cho, nó bị đen sụp, nó bị ái rồi. Sơ tuyển không có cái gì hết, đi nhập mã trường ấy.
My beloved, I saw your sorrow before you ever spoke a word of it. I heard the silent cries that never left your lips. and I felt the trembling of your soul each time despair tried to break you down. You thought no one noticed, that no one cared, that your pain was invisible, lost in the noise of a world moving too fast to slow down for a heart that's breaking. But I noticed. I cared. And I slowed everything down just for this moment, because I need you to hear me now. This is not the end of your story. This is not the place where you collapse under the weight of what life threw at you. No, this is the moment where I, your God, step in to watch from afar, not to offer distant comfort, but to remove the sadness, the anguish, the fear, and the desperation that have been consuming your heart. I'm not here to give you a temporary escape. I'm here to completely transform the atmosphere around you. You've carried this burden long enough. You've hidden the weight behind your smile, behind your responsibilities, behind your silence. But I saw the heaviness you tried to ignore, and I've come to take it from you. I am the God who restores not in part but in full, and I am beginning that restoration right now, in this very breath you're taking. Don't confuse my silence for absence. Even in the days you thought I wasn't speaking, I was working. Even in the nights you cried yourself to sleep, I was watching over you with tenderness deeper than you can comprehend. I never turned my face from you. In fact, I drew closer. I stood beside you when you thought you were alone, and I whispered comfort into your spirit even when your ears couldn't hear it. Your soul felt me. That's why you're still standing. That's why, despite the ache, something in you kept going. That something was me. I was the strength you didn't recognize. I was the peace that momentarily interrupted your anxiety. I was the voice that told you to try again when everything told you to quit. And now I'm making myself undeniable, because you need to know without question that I am here, and I am here for you. Your sadness has tried to become your identity, but I did not design you for a life of despair. You were not created to live buried beneath anxiety, choking on fear, waking up dreading the day ahead. No, you were created for joy, for peace, for divine strength. And I've never stopped fighting for that reality in your life. You've believed the lies that said things will always be this way. You've looked around and seen no way out. But I am not limited by what surrounds you. I am the God who makes rivers in the desert and roads in the wilderness. I am not intimidated by your circumstances. In fact, I specialize in turning impossibilities into testimonies. That sadness you feel is not yours to keep. That anguish you carry is not yours to manage. That panic, that dread, that feeling of hopelessness, it all bows at the sound of my name. And I am declaring over you right now, peace, restoration, and freedom. Not because you earned it, but because you are mine, and I do not abandon my own. You may wonder why it took this long, why the pain lingered for so many nights, why the breakthrough didn't come sooner. But what you didn't see was the preparation happening beneath the surface. I never waste your pain. Every tear you cried watered something sacred. Every breakdown was a setup for breakthrough. Every moment you thought would destroy you was actually reshaping you. I have been building strength in your soul, preparing your spirit, anchoring your heart for what's coming next. And what's coming is not more sorrow. What's coming is not more of the same. What's coming is the release you've been begging for. The shift you stopped believing was possible. The breath you forgot you were allowed to take. Yes, I am removing your sadness. But I'm not leaving you empty. I'm filling you with something greater, joy that doesn't make sense, peace that surpasses all understanding, and hope that refuses to die. That is my promise to you. And I do not speak in vain. This is not a temporary word. This is a divine intervention. This is me, stepping into your story and rewriting the chapter you thought was finished. I am not intimidated by how long you've felt stuck. I am not discouraged by how deep the sadness runs. I go deeper. I reach further. I heal more completely than you dare to imagine. There are places in you that haven't felt light in years, places you've hidden even from yourself. but I see them, and I'm shining my light there now. The shadows are trembling. The fear is losing its grip, and the lie that said you'll never feel peace again is being silenced by my truth. You are not beyond healing. You are not too far gone. You are not forgotten. You are seen, held, chosen, and fiercely loved. Stay with me. Don't retreat into isolation now. I know you've built walls to protect yourself from more pain, but those walls have kept my comfort out too. Let me in. Let me hold what you've tried to carry alone. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to fix yourself. You just have to breathe and let me be God. I don't expect you to have all the answers. I only ask that you trust the one who does. I know how tired you are. I know how many times you've said, I can't do this anymore. But you don't have to do it alone. I'm not just offering help. I'm offering myself fully, completely, unconditionally. And in my presence, the sadness begins to lose its power. I'm not asking for performance. I'm inviting you into healing. Let go of the pressure to pretend everything's okay. Let go of the shame that says you should be stronger by now. Let go of the fear that says if you fall apart again, no one will catch you. I will. I always have. And I always will. You can collapse in my arms. You can sob without words. You can let the tears fall freely. I do not flinch at your emotions. I created them, and I can hold every single one without judgment. This is your safe place. This is holy ground. Not because of where you are, but because of who is with you. I am here, and I'm not leaving. No matter how messy it gets, no matter how many times you stumble, no matter how broken you feel, I will stay. I will carry you. I will restore you. And I will keep speaking until every trace of sadness bows before the weight of my love. You've been living in survival mode for too long, bracing yourself for the next disappointment, the next wave of sadness, the next unexpected blow. It's as if your heart has been on edge, never resting, always scanning the horizon for danger. But I did not create you to merely survive. I created you to breathe deeply, to walk freely, to love boldly, and to hope without hesitation. The armor you wear, the emotional shield you've built to avoid being hurt again, it's heavy, isn't it? You put it on thinking it would protect you, but now it's suffocating you. You smile with your lips, but your soul has forgotten what it feels like to rejoice. You go through the motions, doing what you must, showing up for others, keeping everything together on the outside. But inside, it's been chaos. That's why I'm stepping in, not to shame you for the cracks, but to pour my healing into them. You were never meant to carry this alone, and certainly not forever. And now, your forever is being rewritten. Every lie you believed about your worth, about your future, about my presence, I'm tearing them down. You believed you were too much for some people, too emotional, too intense, too broken. But you were never too much for me. I designed every layer of your being with purpose. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a gift I placed in you to sense things others cannot. Your depth of feeling is not a weakness. It's a mirror of my own heart. And your need for comfort, for love, for healing, that is not shameful. It's holy, because in that need, I meet you. In that openness, I restore you. Stop apologizing for your ache. Bring it to me instead. I will not scold you for crying again. I will not turn away from your trembling. In fact, I draw even closer. I gather every tear, not a single one wasted. Your sadness matters to me, not because it makes you weak, but because it shows me where to pour my love more deeply. There is a tenderness in my heart for you that words cannot capture. It is a love that wraps around your fear like a blanket of light. It is the kind of love that doesn't wait for you to be okay to show up. I enter into your pain. I sit with you in the silence. I whisper when the noise in your mind becomes unbearable. I chase down every shadow, that tries to convince you that you are too far gone. I fight battles in the spirit that you will never even see, just so you can know peace in your soul. I am not watching your struggle from afar. I am inside it with you. I know what broke your heart. I know who walked away. I know the disappointments you never spoke of. I know the prayers you gave up on. And I'm still here. I'm still listening. And I'm still moving, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Your pain is not permanent, no matter how loud it screams. My promise is louder. Even now, I am softening the ground of your heart, where hope used to grow. I'm not asking you to force it. I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm simply asking you to trust the process I've begun in you. Restoration doesn't always look like sudden fireworks. Sometimes it looks like a quiet sunrise after a long night. Sometimes it's not dramatic, it's steady, like waves reshaping the shoreline. I am reshaping you, and though it may take time, what I'm building in you is unshakable. I am dismantling the foundations of fear and replacing them with anchors of truth. I am lifting you out of the pit not by demanding that you climb, but by lowering my hand into the dark and pulling you out myself. That's who I am, the God who climbs into your sorrow and brings you out with strength you didn't know you had. The numbness you've felt, that sense of detachment from your own emotions, that feeling of walking through life half alive, it's breaking now. Not through your effort, but through my breath. I'm awakening what has long been dormant. I'm resurrecting joy where apathy ruled. You thought you lost your ability to feel deeply, to dream boldly, to laugh freely, but it was never lost. It was simply buried beneath layers of pain and disappointment. And now, I am uncovering it, carefully, patiently, with hands that know exactly how to heal what the world broke. Don't fear this unraveling. It's not destruction, it's redemption. I am not dismantling you. I'm disentangling you from everything that was never meant to define you. I'm separating your identity from the sadness. You are not your pain. You are not your trauma. You are not your worst day. You are mine. And in me, your soul finds its name again. Let me remind you of who you are. You are loved beyond measure. Not loved because you're strong, but because you're mine. You are seen without needing to perform. You are chosen even on your messiest days. You are pursued not because you are perfect, but because you are precious. I have never regretted loving you. I have never looked at your brokenness and reconsidered my choice. I knew every flaw before you took your first breath. I saw every failure before you made your first mistake. And still, I chose you, and I choose you again today. That is the kind of love I operate in. Unshakable, undeniable, unstoppable, and no sadness, no fear, no desperation has the power to cancel what I have already spoken over your life. So let the healing begin, let the walls come down, let the tears fall without shame. You don't have to prove your strength here. You don't have to earn comfort. You only have to receive. This is the place where your soul exhales. This is the moment where the inner storm starts to still. I am removing your sadness not just because I can, but because I want to. I want your joy restored. I want your heart light again. I want your future filled with peace and laughter and hope. You may not feel it all yet, but stay close, because what I am doing in you is not temporary relief, it is lasting renewal. You are stepping into a new atmosphere now, one not marked by heaviness but by healing, one not ruled by dread but by divine delight. And this new atmosphere will not fade because it is rooted in me. There are moments when the weight you carry becomes so familiar that you start to believe it's part of you. The sadness wraps itself around your thoughts, the anxiety clings to your chest like armor, and the despair becomes a quiet voice echoing in the back of your mind, whispering that maybe this is just how it will always be. But I did not create you to carry these burdens indefinitely. You were not formed in my image to live beneath the surface of your potential, crushed by the remnants of sorrow and fear. I came not just to save you from eternal separation, but to deliver you from the lies that steal your peace today. The thoughts that say you'll never change, the voices that insist healing is for others, the shame that tells you your brokenness disqualifies you, all of it, I am silencing now. Because when I speak truth, lies lose their power, and I am speaking directly to your heart in this very moment. You were not meant to live in emotional captivity. You were made to walk in joy, to overflow with light, to breathe deeply without the tightness of despair suffocating your hope. I know how hard it has been to wake up each day and pretend you're okay. I see the moments when you smile for others but collapse in private. I've watched you gather your strength to survive the week, the day, sometimes even just the next hour. That's why I'm not calling you to pretend anymore. I'm calling you to be held, to rest, to fall into the arms that won't drop you. You don't have to have the right words. You don't need a polished prayer. Just the willingness to lean in, to surrender your grip on the sadness that's become your shadow, and to let me take it from here. You've tried to carry what only I can lift. You've worn the mask long enough. And now I want to show you that my comfort isn't conditional. It doesn't wait for you to be okay. It meets you in the middle of the storm and brings calm where there was only chaos. You may have wondered why it's taken this long, why you've asked and waited, hoped, and still felt the pain return. But healing isn't always linear. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it happens in waves. Sometimes I'm not just healing the symptoms, I'm healing the root. And roots run deep. There are wounds in you that started years ago, perhaps even before you had the words to understand them. And now, in this sacred moment, I am reaching into the deepest layers, not just to soothe, but to rewire, to restore the design of your soul to how I originally intended it: free, whole, radiant. This is not a patch-up job. This is a resurrection. I am resurrecting the part of you that stopped believing life could be beautiful again. I am restoring your capacity to feel joy without guilt, to trust without fear, to receive without doubting if you're worthy. And yes, you are worthy not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. You are mine. That alone makes you deserving of peace. That alone qualifies you to walk into healing. I see the beauty beneath the battle. I see the fire that still burns even though it's been buried under layers of fatigue. I see the dreams you've shelved because life felt too heavy. And I'm inviting you to believe again, to risk again, not because things will always be easy, but because I will always be with you. You were never designed to walk alone through emotional wilderness. I gave you my spirit as a guide. I gave you my word as a lifeline. I gave you my son as the proof that love never gives up. So even now, in the aftermath of heartbreak and the confusion of unanswered prayers, know this: I am still writing your story, and it's not a tragedy, it's a testimony. The things that once broke you will one day become the very things you speak about with power and compassion. Your voice will carry healing not because you were untouched by pain, but because you allowed me to transform it. The parts of your life that seemed like failures will become holy ground. The tears you cried in secret will become seeds that produce fruit for others. You won't just survive this season, you'll be reborn from it. Stronger, softer, wiser, more aware of my presence than ever before. That is the miracle of my love. I don't erase your pain, I redeem it. I don't skip over your grief. I sit inside it with you until joy has the courage to rise again. You don't need to understand every detail of how it's happening. You just need to rest in me as it unfolds, like a child leaning into the chest of a parent, safe and quiet and unconcerned with what tomorrow holds. That's what I'm offering you now, the invitation to rest, to release the timeline, to surrender the pressure, to come back to the simplicity of being mine. Let go of the fear that says it's too late. Let go of the belief that says healing is too far gone. You are one breath away from peace, one moment away from restoration, one encounter away from remembering who you are. and I am not far. I am here, closer than the pain, deeper than the ache, stronger than the despair. You've carried sadness as a companion. Let me carry you now. Let me take that sorrow and trade it for strength. Let me breathe over your life until the fog begins to lift. Let me speak words over your identity that undo the years of silent suffering. You don't have to brace for impact anymore. You don't have to rehearse your pain to prepare for disappointment. I am shifting the atmosphere within you. I am teaching your soul a new rhythm, not of dread, but of delight, not of sorrow, but of celebration. You may not be ready to dance yet, but you will. You may not be ready to sing, but you will. And the song that comes will not be one of survival, but of redemption. It will be the sound of someone who's tasted despair and now drinks deeply from joy. And that is the song I'm writing in your heart, even now. The sadness you've carried for so long may have tried to convince you that it defines you, that it's part of your nature, that it's your truth now. But listen to me, child, your sadness is not your identity. Your heaviness is not your destiny. What weighs on you now will not follow you forever. I know how it wrapped itself around your thoughts, like a fog that wouldn't lift. I know the nights when you stared at the ceiling, praying for a sign, anything to interrupt the silence. I know the ache that sits behind your smile, the tension that never really leaves your chest, the feeling that you're barely holding it all together. But I want you to hear this. You are not too fragile to be healed. You are not too broken to be made whole. You are not too far gone to be restored. I made your heart, and I know exactly how to put it back together, every shattered piece, every cracked memory, every bruised belief about yourself. You've been walking through this season wondering if things will always feel like this, numb, tired, unpredictable. But no season lasts forever, and this one is not permanent. I have been doing something deep within you that no one else sees. They see your silence, your distance, your pause from the world, but I see the sacred surgery taking place in your soul. I see the roots I'm pulling out, the seeds I'm planting, the rain I'm sending to soften what grew hard over time. Your healing may not be loud, but it is real. Just like the earth doesn't groan when spring arrives, your soul doesn't need to shout for growth to begin. It just needs my touch. And that's what I've been doing every time you cried and thought I wasn't listening. Every time you whispered help with nothing else to give. Every time you sat in silence and hoped I was near, I was. Your healing isn't delayed. It's unfolding, slowly, patiently, intentionally. I am not in a rush because I'm not just trying to make you feel better. I'm making you new. And newness requires more than relief, it requires rebirth. I am rewiring the way you see yourself. I am dissolving the lies that formed when pain taught you false lessons about your worth. I am touching the memories you tucked away in your soul like hidden wounds, the ones that still bleed beneath the surface, the ones that told you it was your fault, that you weren't enough, that love wouldn't stay. I'm not just healing what happened to you, I'm healing what you believed about yourself because of it. You've lived with a version of yourself shaped by pain. Now I am revealing the truth. You are not your trauma. You are not the echo of what hurt you. You are mine. And everything that belongs to me has value, has purpose, has a future. This sadness may have been your companion, but it was never your inheritance. I did not knit despair into your DNA. I did not write chapters of hopelessness into your story. Yes, you've walked through valleys. Yes, you've sat in shadows. But every valley has a purpose, and every shadow fades in the light of my presence. You felt forgotten, but you were never forsaken. You felt alone, but I've never left your side. Even in your weakest moments, when you thought you were too exhausted to try again, I was holding you. Not judging, not disappointed, just present, just patient, just waiting for you to realize that my grace doesn't run out, and my mercy doesn't grow tired of your process. You've apologized for being sad. You've tried to minimize your pain so others wouldn't be uncomfortable.
Trong đó có cái gì?
But I'm not uncomfortable with your brokenness. I'm not surprised by your tears. I'm not distant when your emotions overwhelm you. I meet you in that place. I draw near to the crushed in spirit. I do not ask you to perform.
Giấy chứng nhận.
I ask you to rest. I do not demand perfection, I offer restoration. I'm not asking you to pretend everything is fine. I'm asking you to be honest with me, so I can be the one who lifts you up. You weren't meant to carry this alone. That's why I've been waiting, not for your strength, but for your surrender. Because it is in surrender that healing begins. When you finally let go of the image you thought you had to maintain, when you drop the armor you've worn for years, when you stop pretending you're okay, and admit that you need me, that's when I move. That's when I fill the empty spaces. That's when I cradle the fragile parts of you with tenderness. And from that place of honesty, I begin to rebuild. Not the version of you that copes and hides, but the version of you that's free, that laughs without fear, that loves without restraint, that dreams again. Not because life is perfect, but because your heart is alive. Don't you see? That's the miracle. Not that life suddenly changes, but that you do. That your soul no longer withers under the weight of sadness, but rises with the light of hope. That your eyes begin to see beauty again, even in small things. That joy becomes possible, not forced,
Bận chính giấy chứng nhận.
but genuine.
Quả rồi đúng không?
That your spirit remembers what it feels like to breathe deeply,
Nói chung là giấy
to love boldly,
bàn
to walk confidently in who you are. That's what I'm offering you. Not just escape from sadness,
là đó đó.
but a resurrection into joy. Not just temporary relief, but lasting transformation.
Đường lõ vậy.
And that's what's happening right now,
Nó đó.
even if you can't fully see it yet. The healing has begun, and it's not finished until you are fully restored. There's a stillness I'm inviting you into, not the kind that comes from the world being quiet, but the kind that comes from your soul no longer needing to fight. You've been in survival mode for so long that rest feels foreign. Peace feels like a luxury you can't afford. But I'm calling you out of the storm, not because the storm is over, but because I want you to know that I am your shelter. You don't have to wait for life to calm down before you can breathe again. You don't need the chaos around you to disappear before you can find peace. I am peace, and I live within you. That means rest is available even in the midst of uncertainty. That means you can exhale a not, because everything makes sense, but because you are not alone in the unknown. Your soul has been crying out for relief, for clarity, for something solid to hold on to when everything else feels like shifting sand. And that's what I'm giving you. My presence, unshakable and near. You don't need to understand everything to trust me. You just need to remember who I am. I have never failed you. Even when the way forward was unclear, I was already making paths in the wilderness. Even when your strength ran out, I carried you. Even when you lost sight of the promise, I never forgot it. My plans for you are not on hold. They're unfolding, even now, quietly, faithfully, beneath the surface. There is a deeper work I'm doing that cannot be rushed. You've asked me to remove your sadness, and I am. But I'm not just removing pain. I'm replacing it with beauty, with purpose, with joy that no circumstance can touch. This is not just about healing what's broken. It's about building something better in its place. A life rooted in me, not in fear. A heart anchored in hope, not in anxiety. A soul that doesn't tremble every time the wind blows, because it knows where it belongs. That's the life I'm creating within you. But to build, I must first clear the ground. And that means exposing what you've buried. The unresolved grief, the silent disappointments, the unanswered prayers. I know it's painful. I know it's easier to avoid those places, to stay busy, to numb out. But I love you too much to leave you wounded beneath the surface. I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to free you. And freedom only comes when the truth is allowed to breathe. So let the tears come. Let the memories rise, let the sorrow speak. I can handle it all. I already know it all. And still, I chose you. Still, I'm staying. There's nothing you need to hide from me. No thought too dark. No fear too heavy. No feeling too much. I welcome it all. Because I'm not just God over your victories. I'm God in your valleys. I'm the one who walks with you through the places you thought you had to walk alone. I'm the one who understands the words you can't find, the sorrow you can't explain, the weight you can't shake. I'm the one who doesn't flinch when you're at your worst, who doesn't withdraw when you're drowning in doubt. I move closer. I hold tighter. I whisper softer. You are safe here, safe in my presence, safe to be honest, safe to heal. So stop telling yourself you're too much. Stop rehearsing the lie that says you're weak for feeling, that your sadness makes you a burden. You are not a burden. You are a miracle in progress, a masterpiece under restoration. And what feels like unraveling is actually me removing what no longer serves you. You were never meant to carry the expectations of perfection. You were never created to fake your way through life. You were made to live freely, fully, authentically with me. And that version of you is not far off. It's emerging, slowly but surely. With every prayer you've whispered through tears. With every moment you've chosen to hope again. With every breath you've taken when giving up felt easier. That is courage. That is faith. That is the evidence of me at work in you. You're not going backward. You're being reborn. And what's coming alive in you is more powerful than what tried to destroy you. Your sadness is not your end. It's the soil where I'm planting something eternal. And what grows from this will not just bless you, will bless others. Your healing will become someone else's hope. Your freedom will spark freedom in those around you. Your story will carry light into dark places. Because I waste nothing, not even pain, not even tears, especially not tears. Everyone you've cried, I've caught. Everyone has meaning, and everyone has become a seed. And those seeds, they're starting to bloom. The joy I'm preparing for you will not be shallow. It will not be performative. It will not be based on circumstances. It will be the kind that surprises you on ordinary days. The kind that bubbles up from places you thought were too broken. The kind that reminds you that you are alive, that your heart still beats with purpose, that your life still holds promise. Yes, that kind of joy is coming. Not far off, not unreachable. It's already on its way. And when it arrives, you'll know this is what you were created for. You may have thought that your sadness disqualified you, that your pain pushed you too far from the promises I made. But I want you to understand this clearly. Nothing you've been through has removed my hand from your life. The sorrow, the heaviness, the despair you've carried, none of it has made me love you less. In fact, I've loved you even more fiercely through every moment you felt unworthy. My love doesn't shrink back when you're weak. It wraps around you. It covers you. It fights for you when you've forgotten how to fight for yourself. I never needed you to be strong for me to stay. I just needed you to let me in. And now that you have, now that your heart has opened even just a crack through the exhaustion, through the tears, through the fear now, the light is flooding in. And that light is me. I am not a distant force. I am not a concept. I am your Father, and I am here to stay. I do not love from afar, I dwell within. I do not wait until you are whole to come close. I enter into the ache, into the mess, into the confusion, and I build beauty from within it. That's who I am. That's what I do. And that's what I'm doing in you right now, even if you don't yet have words for it. Because I see what no one else sees. I see the resilience beneath your weariness. I see the spark of hope that refused to die, even when everything around you told you to give up. I see the small, quiet acts of courage getting out of bed when your heart was heavy. whispering a prayer when your faith felt gone, showing up for life when your soul wanted to disappear. I see every bit of it, and I honor it. I don't compare you to others. I don't measure your healing by speed or appearance. I measure it by the posture of your heart, and yours has been turned toward me, even when you didn't feel me. That's faith. That's victory. That's the beginning of everything new. You don't have to be ashamed of how long it's taken you. Healing isn't a race, it's a return to peace, a return to joy, a return to who you've always been beneath the pain. Mine, my beloved, my chosen, my masterpiece. The enemy tried to tell you that you were disqualified, that your sadness made you weak, that your brokenness made you disposable. But none of that is true. What the enemy calls weakness, I call soil for miracles. What the enemy tries to use to isolate you, I will use to connect you with others who are waiting for the very healing you're receiving now. Because you won't stay in this place forever. The fog will lift. The ache will ease. The joy will return. And when it does, it will not be shallow. It will be rooted in the depths of what you've overcome. It will come with authority, with fire in your eyes and tenderness in your voice. You will be able to say, I've walked through darkness, but I found the light again. I know what it feels like to be lost and to be found. And those words will break chains. Those words will heal others, because they will carry me in them. They will carry the proof of my faithfulness. You thought your story was falling apart, but I've been writing redemption into every page. I'm not finished with you. In fact, I've only just begun. I know you don't see it all yet, but trust might's unfolding. Right here, right now, the parts of your life that felt dead are coming alive. Again, the pieces you thought were wasted are being rearranged for something holy. Your tears are not just falling. They are watering the roots of a harvest you didn't even know was growing. And when that harvest comes, you will be amazed at what has been growing in secret. So let yourself rest now. Let yourself stop striving, stop proving, stop explaining. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your healing process. You don't need to convince anyone that you're okay. You are held. You are covered. You are safe with me. This is not a performance. It's a transformation. You are allowed to be where you are. You are allowed to feel what you feel. You are allowed to take your time. I'm not in a hurry with you. I'm not impatient. I'm not annoyed. I am gentle. I am near. I am love. And I will never stop being all of that for you. You've been through enough. And now, I am lifting the weight. I am lifting the fear. I am lifting the lie that says you are too much or not enough. I am lifting the shame that's followed you like a shadow. It ends here. Not because you earned your way out, but because I carried you here. And I am declaring over you now, freedom, healing, wholeness, life. I am speaking resurrection over your dry bones, and you will rise, not as who you used to be, but as who I've always seen you as. Strong, brave, loved, redeemed. There are things within you that even you don't fully understand, emotions that confuse you, reactions that catch you off guard, waves of sadness that appear without warning. You've wondered if something's wrong with you, if perhaps you're broken in a way that can't be fixed. But hear me now. Nothing about you is beyond repair. Nothing within you is beyond my reach. What you call confusion, I see as depth. What you call damage, I see as detail. I formed you with intention. I designed your soul with sensitivity. And though life has wounded you, it has not erased what I placed inside you. The real you is still there under the rubble, under the exhaustion, under the pain. And I am uncovering that beauty, piece by piece, breath by breath. I am not asking you to fix yourself. I am asking you to surrender to the one who can heal what you are never meant to carry alone. I never intended for you to face this world in isolation. I never asked you to pretend you were okay when you weren't. I asked you to be with me. That's where your strength comes from, not from suppressing your pain, but from bringing it to me. And now that you are here, open, honest, laid bare before me, the healing has already begun. You may not see it all yet, but you will. And when you look back on this moment, you'll remember it as the place where everything began to shift. You've begged for the pain to stop. I've heard every cry, every whispered plea. But I need you to know what I'm doing is deeper than removing pain. I'm rebuilding you from the inside out. This isn't temporary relief. This is transformation. This is the kind of healing that rewrites the story. You won't just feel better. You'll live different. You'll breathe freer. You'll see clearer. And most of all, you'll walk in truth. The truth of who you are, who I am, and what we're building together. And that truth will become the foundation beneath your feet, no matter what storms come. Don't be discouraged if it still feels messy. Healing is not a straight path. It's a sacred one. Some days you'll feel full of faith. Others, you'll feel like hiding, and I will be with you in all of it. I don't measure your progress by your emotions. I measure it by your honesty. And you've been honest, even when it scared you, even when it hurt. That's bravery. That's the soil where miracles grow. So stop judging yourself by the pace of others. Stop looking around to see if you're doing it right. Look to me. I am your shepherd. I know exactly how to lead your heart home. And home is what I'm bringing you back to, not a place, but a state of being where you are fully known and fully loved, where you don't have to pretend, or earn, or strive, where your soul exhales and your spirit remembers. This is who I am. I am safe. I am loved. I am chosen. That identity is not earned by performance. It is received by grace. And I am pouring out that grace over you now, in waves, in silence, in stillness. Let it soak into every part of you that's felt overlooked. Let it baptize the parts of you you've tried to hide. Let it wash away the lies, the shame, the guilt that was never yours to carry. You've been walking through a valley, but I've been walking with you. You may not have felt me, but I never left. You may not have heard me, but I've been speaking in the pauses, in the stillness, in the space between your words. And now I'm turning the page. I'm not erasing your past. I'm redeeming it. Every scar will tell a story of grace. Every tear will become a testimony of resurrection. Every broken piece will fit into a mosaic of glory that only I could have designed. You won't just survive this, you'll shine through it. Not because you forced your way forward, but because you let me carry you through. I've never been after your perfection. I've always been after your heart. And your heart, even broken, is still beautiful to me. It's still worthy of love, still worthy of joy, still worthy of dreams. Do not let pain tell you who you are. Do not let fear decide your future. You belong to me. That means you belong to hope. You belong to promise. You belong to peace that doesn't make sense to the world. And that peace is coming. Like the first light after a long night. Soft, sure, undeniable. It's not a feeling, it's a reality. And it will anchor you in the days ahead. So breathe now. Not because everything is fixed, but because you are being held by the one who can hold it all. Let go of what you can't control. I never asked you to carry the weight of the world. I only asked you to trust that I already am. And I am for you. For your mind. For your healing. For your peace. I am not just the God of heaven. I am the God of your heart. And I will never leave you here. Not halfway healed. Not half alive. I will finish what I started. And when I do, you'll look in the mirror and see what I've always seen. My beloved, radiant with grace, shining with hope, finally free. I know you've been waiting for a sign, something clear, something bold, something undeniable that confirms everything you've been feeling in your spirit. You've longed for evidence that I'm with you, that your pain has purpose, that your prayers haven't vanished into silence. So let me say it now with no hesitation. This is your sign. These words, this moment, this stirring in your chest, it's me. I'm the one who guided you here. I'm the one who has been speaking in whispers while the world roared around you. And I'm the one who's about to make all things new, not just externally, but from the inside out. The change you're sensing isn't your imagination. It's the birth of something holy. You've been planted in places of sorrow, but you are rising in strength. You've been tested in ways no one else saw, but you passed every trial by simply staying open, staying kind, staying connected to me when you could have turned away. That matters more than you know. The strength of your spirit is not found in loud declarations, but in your quiet perseverance. When you thought no one noticed your faithfulness, I did. When you cried alone and still whispered a prayer through trembling lips, I counted every tear. And I'm turning those tears into streams of joy. I want you to stop thinking of yourself as fragile. You are tender. Yes, but you are not weak. You've carried more than anyone realizes. You've stood through storms that would have crushed others. You've kept walking even with wounds that still sting. That's not failure, that's fortitude. That's the mark of someone who carries heaven inside. I didn't choose you because you were flawless. I chose you because you were willing to love in pain, willing to trust in darkness, willing to believe again after being broken. That is what sets you apart, not perfection, but surrender. And in that surrender, I've been building something unshakable. You've wondered why things had to happen the way they did. Why loss visited you. Why betrayal found you. Why doors closed even when your heart was open. But what you couldn't see then is what I see now. Some doors were closed to protect you, not punish you. Some people left because their presence would have delayed your growth. Some dreams were paused because I had to deepen your roots first. And now that the foundation is solid, I can release the fullness of what I've prepared for you. But it will not come to the old version of you. Will come to the healed, refined, awakened you who is emerging even now. So don't rush this moment. Don't despise this part of the process. It's holy. It's sacred. It's not the end, it's the unveiling. You are not being buried. You are being planted. And what I'm about to grow through you will surprise everyone, even yourself. There are gifts within you that you haven't tapped into yet. Anointings that have been waiting for this very season to activate. You will speak with authority. You will walk in clarity. You will carry healing in your words and peace in your presence. Not because you read it in a book or studied it in a course, but because you lived it. You bled for it. You surrendered for it. And now you carry it with reverence. Stop saying you're not ready. If you weren't ready, I wouldn't be moving now. Readiness is not about knowing everything. It's about trusting me when you know very little. And you've learned to do that well.
Bây giờ này anh còn không vừa nữa. Hồi xưa mặc áo lái mà nó còn dai cái nặng được. Bây giờ anh mặn đồ của anh nặng đâu vừa nó xong tước nó xong gì nữa.
Có một cái áo nào đó mà nó đồng cộng đó mà. Ở sơ mi không có cái nào cộng hết.
Dạ anh đâu bằng áo sơ mi vừa đâu. Áo anh có rồi đâu mà vừa nữa đâu. Cho nó đó các bạn hiếm ở vừa.
Đang hay cái video của Chúa, mở video đúng 10 view luôn, không like luôn anh ơi.
Bấm vô xem phân tích
cái
sao lại điểm sale không?
số thẻ tan không tin nam ta.
Bạn có là thư vườn tốt. Sao là về nhà?
Sao lại
Còn nam đinh nam sao nó lạ hả?
Bạn có thử?
Ở đây người ta có chỉnh sửa gì không?
chủ yếu nó có cái khổ thôi. Vừa đó.
Áo xanh cũng được à? Này cổ xanh cũng được à?
Ủa gì cũng được, lịch sự là được mà.
Nhưng mà còn gì
Bà cởi cái áo ở trong ra.
cộng ra cho mượn cái
Cho em luôn cái áo đó nha. Em lấy mũi gì nữa, lấy ngọc vào.
anh ơi cho mượn cái cột rau của em.
Ở dưới chân này.
Ủa nãy giờ đang live hả? Nghe tiếng chị lo-fi.